Hello.
How are you today? Happy Pre-Friday.
Happy Free Friday.
Cool. Welcome everybody to the commentary zone. On the docket today, we have the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 11, episode 21, reunion part 1. Mm.
What'd you think?
Okay, this is a preliminary thought process. I feel like they're going to separate the Erica crap that they filmed at the beginning, just in case she left.
hmm
And they're going to disperse it, I would say, midway through each of these 4 episodes.
That's the way I took it, to
Yeah,
be honest. 'Cause it seemed
because
like they weren't touching, they didn't touch on Erica at all this first part. So I assume like, okay, what they're going to do is section this stuff off that way. Um, because I have a feeling the way they did this, they want to make sure that she answers the questions.
yeah, I think that was most important to NBC to get her to answer all the questions that they needed Andy to ask her for fear that she was going to walk off. So they took care of Erica at the beginning of the taping. But
Right.
then I feel like they edit it so that it has a better flow and it looks like he's dispersing questions throughout the panel,
That makes
even though
sense.
he ain't.
Right. So my suggestion for this is that we go kind of do like a quick review, a recap of the show, and then dive in on the key points. Because that's the way this episode played out for me.
I'll follow your lead. Oh, I'm sorry about that, y'all. I've had a morning. So, how do you want to start? What do you want to do?
We can just go from beginning to end.
Mm. We see all of them assembling at the set. We find out that the set is based off of Kathy's backyard. Oh,
That was good. That
okay.
was so cool.
It was pretty, but I think the lighting, I don't know why I saw so much like pink in it. And I'm like, her backyard was never pink, but I guess it looked better. Pink is a better lighting for the ladies if they don't
Right.
have the,
And for
nips and
TV.
tucks. So it was really cute. I wish they had dressed like they was going to Kathy backyard. Them outfits was horrible, horrible.
I won't say horrible. Like why the way I take the outfits was this. I'm like, okay, I know what you were going for, but you just didn't get all the way there. Like you didn't get all the way to the house. It's like you stopped at the curb.
For me, I hate to say this, Crystal looked the most elegant, and she was very, I wouldn't say plain, because her jewelry really did pop. The cranberry was a good color for her, but it was simple and elegant. Um, I heard that Dorit's dress, them beads was rolling off throughout the entire taping. I think that's what
Ooh.
Garcelle said during Watch What Happens Live, which I thought was funny. And it must hurt sitting on all of those beads. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. I was looking for like a pillow or a cushion or something
Mm,
because that's a lot.
so it all those beads are boring into your skin.
Right.
It can't be comfortable. I don't care. Um, I was surprised when Erica said that she was going for a sexy look with that outfit.
She was going for hot.
Okay.
I didn't see it
I
myself.
didn't see it.
I
And
missed.
Kyle's dress in the breast area was not very flattering. It made her look mushed. But that was just my opinion.
But you know what? The funny thing is, they like, even though we expect more from our reunion looks, we've gotten used to that. I'm
Hmm.
gonna say this: the ladies themselves are just look really good. You
And
know what I'm
and
saying?
I'll say this again. The jewelry was popping. Like I loved my favorite jewelry was of course, what's it? Sutton's Cartier Panther ring. Meow. I loved uh, Crystal's jewelry, really nice, all diamonds. And then, oh, Kathy, that diamond and ruby bracelet. And Kyle, I'll give an honorable mention to her earrings, her diamond earrings. Very nice
Yeah,
ladies.
but they were almost like I said, the ladies were looking good. You know what it was, and and this is complete respect to ladies. The outfits did not enhance their beauty, and I think that's really what it was for me, because they all looked good, the makeup, the jewelry, and all that good stuff, but the outfits like let them down, in my opinion. I mean, Dorit looked really good. I really like her design aesthetic. I will say I had to give it to her. That's why I
Mhm.
want to see more of her. I want to see more of that from her. But the ladies overall, like I said, they look good, but it just I think an outfit for a woman it should enhance your beauty, and it just didn't for them.
Hi, everybody in the chat. Sunshiner, you didn't like Sutton's earrings? Girl, those are vintage. I think they're vintage Chanel. They cost a penny. The price made me like them. Just saying. I'm not
You
one for dangle earrings, but the price made me like them.
you like vintage and expensive,
Exactly. Because I'm vintage and I used to be expensive.
right?
Hi, guys. Hi, replay crew. But yeah, that's our mini recap. Well, my mini take on what they wore. Do you think that they told them to dress as if you were coming to the backyard or no?
You know what? I think it's just interesting because they kill the confessionals, but sometimes they just drop the when they go for this particular designer. I think they go in with a mindset, and also with I know with the reunions, if there's a theme to the reunion, they try to show out. Beverly Hills doesn't have a theme.
Okay. Do they ever have a theme? I just thought that
Yes,
this was the worst
yes,
dressed reunion like since OC season 1.
they do have some of the franchise. Sometimes they will have things that are just not consistent. So remember when um
Potomac
Potomac
had that
had
yellow from
Portugal,
Portugal. Yeah.
yeah, which was really yellow's difficult, but they pulled it off. I think one year for some reason Beverly Hills was like black and white or white. It was something. Somebody had black and white. I want to say it was Beverly Hills. I could be wrong. Um,
Atlanta
so
had the
Dungeon,
the
which was just
dungeon thing and
it was
everybody came in
chaos.
black. That was
Yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
I
So
don't
yeah, they have
know.
themes. I think for the reunion they should have a theme. They should have a theme because that makes the ladies cohesive and they be
Hmm.
looking good. They be looking good. They be looking good.
Yeah. Uh, okay, so we get past that, and so they sat Kyle next to Andy because it's her 11th reunion. Who cares?
Right. Well, that
And
too.
this was product placement for the Halloween movie that all of a sudden now is
Yes.
Kyle's movie. What happened to Jamie Lee Curtis?
Right.
I give Jason's movie first before her, but whatever. Doesn't she die in it? I don't
I
know.
think so. That's what I heard.
And who's next? We get a little bit into Erica. Like he goes around and says hi to everybody, blah blah blah. And so when he talks to Erica, she says that she's looking forward to closing this chapter and moving on. And Andy brings up the victims, and Erica says that the alleged victims should be made whole.
Mhm.
Did I hear that wrong?
Yes.
Alleged?
Tom's alleged and Tom's all Tom's crimes are alleged.
So you
Because
just
it's
go through
true.
bankruptcy for nothing.
Here's the thing, because they're alleged because they haven't been proven as of yet. That's why it's all alleged. These are just allegations against them. Like nothing's been proven. That's why. Yeah,
Ah.
when someone files against you, everything's alleged until they go through the I want to say the investigation, like comb through everything, and if they can prove that he stole the money, then that's when it become like true and real. Until then, everything's allegations. Until you're basically, from what I understand, until you're convicted, it's all allegations.
Okay. So then Andy asked all the ladies who spoke to an attorney. Sutton said she didn't speak to her attorney, but she spoke to an attorney, just asking a general question about it. Um, Crystal says she spoke to an attorney because she does it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
and then Kyle said that she spoke to what's her face, her best friend's husband, who's an attorney.
Faye
Yeah,
Resnick.
Faye Resnick. You know, not a season can go by without mentioning poor dear Faye's name.
But we have to give it to Kyle though. She stays trying to get her friends jobs.
I hope
Because
they help her when she need one.
Because we saw Teddy in some of those Instagram photos. It was her, Teddy, and Faye. You know, she stays trying to get her people on the show and get a check. So I'm not gonna fault Kyle for that.
Then there's a brief section on Sutton. She has her face roller in the trailer. They talk about how cold-blooded her mama is regarding her husband or deceased husband. And, you know, again, I think we spoke about this when we saw that clip run the first time. A child's relationship with their parent is different from a husband and wife.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that their marriage wasn't, you know, all unicorns and rainbows.
Well,
and she
he
feel
was,
how she feel.
No, it wasn't. The way, if I can't remember if it was said or it was alluded to, there was some sort of
drinking.
Yes.
Yeah. It wasn't very clear, but he had some sort of issues.
Yes.
And he passed away. And, you know, I'm trying to be as delicate with this as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't think Sutton should take it personally how her mama she's probably processed all of that, compartmentalized it, and just has moved on from it. She's not shedding no more tears over that. It is what it is. And if she feels the way how she feels, you got to let her be. Stop telling her how she should feel.
Because you didn't see, it's obvious you didn't see everything, which is what parents do. They don't want these kids to see the rough patches. So the mother is the way it came across. The mom was resigned to her marriage to Sutton's dad because they've probably been married for so long, and they had Sutton. I think Sutton has a sibling,
a brother and a sister. I think.
Right? Yeah, siblings. So she's like, okay, I'm going to just stick this out for the kids. You know, this is just what we do. And you know, she probably had emotionally already checked out on him, but was going to be there for her kids, which she was. So once he passed, she was like, you know what, cool, I'm good. And the way Sutton's looking at him is like, well, that's my daddy. From what we can tell, that's my daddy.
And you know what? Sutton's, if he had a good relationship with her and she was tight with him, that's okay too.
Exactly, it's fine, but don't put your relationship through your eyes on someone else when the relationship is completely different.
Yep. And that's good that she, you know, whatever he put on his wife, he didn't put on his kids. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. All right. So, how she almost burned down Kyle's house with that faulty fireplace?
I want to know because that was black.
The whole mantle was burnt.
The whole mantle.
The wooden, the stone, like going up. I was like, wow. And Kyle didn't even charge her a security deposit.
Nope.
I love when Sutton said, "I'll see you in court."
Right. And then Erica's like, oh, good. This won't be me. I was like, Erica. I was like, I ain't mad at you for that, Erica. I'm not mad at you for that.
Erica kept on slipping in little pieces.
Yes.
With when other people were, you know, it was their segment. She had good little like one-liners. I wasn't mad at it.
No, not at all. Because with Erica, and I'm going to say this now. We haven't gotten to her yet. We won't get to her to the next part. But I'm going to say this: it's things like this, her little one-liners, that make you be like, okay, there is a person under there. But where was this person throughout the season? I will show grace in this because I can't say what I would do. I can only say it now look at her. What she didn't do from the beginning is just say, you know what? I can't say too much due to the legal proceedings. This is what's these are the allegations against him. And what I'm going to do on my end, I'm going to, cooperate to the best of my ability and make sure the victims are taken care of, and however we have to do that. But she didn't do that. She was in survival mode, and she chose to double down on herself. And when you
Mm-hmm.
double down on yourself, it makes you look selfish.
I think she gave an interesting prelude because they talked to her next, and they said she said she was going for that sexy look, and she wants to date, or she is dating, and she wants
Mhm.
somebody with a big bojangles. Okay, good for you. But did you notice the part where she gave, like, she's like, I know people thought that I was cold, and I wasn't talking about the victims, but you have to understand I was going through this in real time, and there are things that I can say, but there's a lot of things that I can't say, and I'm trying my best, and I'm showing up, and and I'm here. I haven't given up, and I'm here. Well, good on for you.
Mhm.
Good on for you. But she also mentioned, I feel she's trying to set it up that she's going to angle for more money for next season. Because for
Right.
some reason, she feels that she is the story.
Right. But we know in real time that that's what's happened. That what allegedly we I haven't seen the contract, but that she got a pay raise.
Mm.
Yep.
I picked up on this too, Stephen. This caught my eye. When she gave a look over to Sutton when Sutton said that she was dating after her breakup, but we'll get to that. Oof. Sutton says that her and her boyfriend broke up over Valentine's Day, and she's dating, and she says that it's really like the first time that she's dating in her life, because I'm assuming it's
Mhm.
like a high school or college sweetheart her husband was.
Right.
And Erica kind of gave her like, you getting a man before me? Yeah, because she's not in the papers every day,
Right.
and she got money.
And I can't wait to get to that. Speaking of Sutton, was the Lisa Rinna shade in this package when Lisa was saying like, oh, Sutton doesn't have a business, like she has a store. Is that in that package?
I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? Like, she has a like you could she has a business. You can say she doesn't have a company, but she has a business. When you have a store, you have a business. And I like the fact that Sutton she didn't do any digs towards Rena's
She just
businesses.
stated her facts. She said,
Right.
I do have a business, and looked at her. And Andy, well, he must have known.
Hmm.
And well, what's going on? And then we saw the social media stuff. No, when she went on Watch What Happens Live with those ugly white glasses, Lisa Rinna. I did not watch that night, so I didn't know that shade was thrown. But that's petty jealousy, because Lisa Rinna, you've had a couple of brick and mortar stores that you lost. You
That got
lost.
robbed. That got robbed on it while she was on air. If we want to, yeah, they both
And
got robbed while they were both on television.
like multiple times within a 30-day period, they were being broken into. And whispers were being said that was set up, like almost
Right.
insurance fraud,
Right.
allegedly.
Yeah.
But when all is said and done, she had to shut down her businesses.
Yeah.
Sutton's business is her business. Nobody said anything about yours.
And she's doing well too, and I'm happy to hear that.
And then her QVC venture, she screwed that up with her big mouth.
Hmm.
Let Sutton do her little thing. This is her pet project. Leave her alone.
And the thing is, the funny is, we have to remember that they're friends. Like
Mm.
Lisa Rinna brought
She brought her
on,
on.
but think about what Rinna does though. Like
Mm-hmm.
she brings a friend on and then turns on them their second season. It happened with Denise. It happened with Sutton. And this is a pattern of behavior.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. Who brought on Garcelle? Was it Lisa?
Denise,
Oh, Denise.
Denise,
Okay.
right? But it appears that actually Rena and Garcelle were closer than Garcelle and Denise, and Rena and Denise, which was very telling to me because she threw Denise to the wolves. She just didn't care about Denise, but
Hmm.
she wants to work it out with, um, she wants to work it out with Garcelle. I think I'm gonna preface by saying this is gonna be a little kind of mean, but I think I'm accurate. I think part of it is they have a 20-year plus relationship, and they are, you could tell they're tight friends.
Hmm.
But I think also Brenda doesn't want to face the wrath of being called racist. I I think it's more about the friendship, but
Hmm.
based on what we heard towards the end of the reunion, she doesn't want to be seen as racist. But we'll get to that part.
I think they all had a conversation about that, and they didn't want to appear racist. But Sutton misstepped with Crystal, and I think Garcelle navigated the race thing much better than Sutton did, who fell totally into that hole with it. But whatever, it is what it is. I'll talk about it, my feelings on it when we get there. Then we go to Garcelle. I think we did everything. Hold on. Wait, I slipped down too far. Sorry about that, y'all. I think my finger moved my phone. Um, okay, so now we get to Dorit and Garcelle, and Dorit must have strategized with Boy George and PK on how not to call her an angry black woman or aggressive, and say that she's trying to be passively provocative to be relevant. The episode was done for me. If that bitch come
Yeah.
back on next season, I don't know what to say. She's as useful as two tits on a bull. I swear.
So when she said that, I was like, now if Garcelle just really just reads her for filth, I'm like, I'm gonna be here for it because I'm like, ma'am, Garcelle Garcelle has been relevant just about, and Garcelle has been relevant in Hollywood just about as long as you've been alive. So what are you talking about?
From
30 plus
Models
years
Inc.
from models from Models Inc.
And she was a
For
model
y'all,
before that. But her big
right?
break was Models Inc.
Yes,
And what is Dorit doing? Making frocks that shed they beads every time you inhale and exhale with a woman who's probably about to sue her. Just saying.
right. And I'm not sure. Did you see the Instagram photo I posted in my chat?
I haven't had time to go
Where
on.
okay, so the photo on the left, on well, you're looking at on your left,
Uh-huh.
it says Garcelle posing for Italian Vogue, and on the right has the posing for a window. I was like, oh no.
But if you go through it and you look at it, right, Garcelle has been relevant all of these years. She didn't have to marry money, even though she married well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's on the Real now. She's on this Fleabag show. She has her own production company. She's a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Has her book coming out next year.
Right.
And she's got that movie that she's starring in that Whoopi Goldberg is producing. Like, she was in Coming to America last season.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
She stays booked and busy.
I don't understand why Dorit is trying to say that Garcelle is trying to be relevant when she's the most relevant out of all of y'all. And I'm talking about main cast, not
Right.
friends.
Right. Because here's the thing. No one knew what Dorit Kemsley was before she appeared on the show. We knew who Garcelle Bouvet was before she came on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think what is with Dorit, I think she's like, well, I've been on this cast like for X amount of years, and I'm still at the bottom of the totem pole. So let me try to like let me have a moment somewhere. I need a moment, and since Garcelle's kind of new still, I can like go after her. Like, baby, when I'm sorry, actually I'm not. This is a piece of advice for Dorit and anybody else. Do not compete where you cannot compare. Stay in your lane. You make beautiful dresses.
Not really. That
They're
lady does.
okay. Somebody in your company makes beautiful dresses.
In that lady company.
Stick with that. Be content with your own accomplishments. And this is Dorit is one of the main problems I see with when it comes down to women and friendships. You feel you gotta tear another woman down to build yourself up, and that's not what it is. That whole trying to be relevant is such a reach because you know who Garcelle is. Quit playing them games. Stop playing. You
Look,
literally tried to belittle this person's accomplishments, but trying to say they're reaching for relevance. You sound like no one agreed with you because if you go back to that scene, it was all crickets when she said that.
mm-hmm. But even though she's on this show, who is Dorit? Dorit's claim to fame is going on IG and doing poses up against glass windows in designer clothes that she's either borrowed or bought and reselling on resale luxury sites and is being banned from luxury houses because of it. Like she doesn't have the best of reputations. She got a bum broke husband who says that he's lost anywhere from $500 million to $3 billion because of bad business decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you, even though you're on this show?
And then you got tax issues. What are you talking about?
Oh, I didn't even get to those. And
Yeah,
everybody calls her Dorito.
right. And you're moving houses every season or every other season. So I'm just saying, like, I do not like when people try to come from other people's accomplishments. She tried to make a bad dig. It didn't work. There was crickets everywhere because no other ladies know who Garcelle Beauvais was. Come on
Mm-hmm.
now. And let's be honest, Garcelle didn't ask to be on the show. They asked her to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Dorit, you probably was begging to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not play. Don't do that. Like, don't do that.
It just comes across that she's trying to discredit Garcelle and
Yes,
trying to say you don't have a place here. And there's a reason why Garcelle was not feeling welcome. Dorit, you're a primary reason.
and when Garcelle came back, so like, to paraphrase, I don't have to do a damn thing to be relevant. Let me just say that.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, let me just
But
shut that down real quick.
when Dorit started hollering, what?
Exactly.
What? And then did you see the look on Lisa Rinna's face? She was laughing at that. Laughing.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the demise of this particular franchise will be because of these cliques that they have. They are infuriating. There's no problem with people being friends and backing each other up, but these vicious cliques that systematically, season after season, go after individual cast members to oust them or to discredit them is beyond the pale. And it's childish, it's infuriating, and I don't want to watch it. I just don't. And Lisa Rinna is the person who brought that mentality to this show.
Exactly. And while to a degree it can be entertaining, but when you start trying to check people's down accomplishments that they've worked hard for, yeah, it's a
And
no
their
go for me.
marriages. And their
Hmm.
marriages. Like, what if somebody did to Lisa what she's been doing to woman after woman after woman on this show? And when she's not doing it, she's got one of her minions doing it.
Hmm. But I think that's all going to come to a head though, because you can only get away with this so long. But what Lisa doesn't Renner doesn't realize, you have to understand something. You can only skate by with no storyline for so long. Because look what happened to Erica. If Erica did not have this storyline, she would be gone after this season. Let's call a thing a thing. So if we're saying Erica was on the chopping block for having no storyline, the next person in line is Lisa Renner. So
And
she
Dorito, they're in a tie.
during the time. I agree with you.
They're in a tie because really all Rena is doing is dancing on IG, and she's got her lip smacker things now. So yeah, she's got one thing, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Laura Blackwell says, in my opinion, Garcelle's son and Crystal need to form a secret alliance to have each other's backs, but don't ever let the other castmates know because they can't be trusted. Laura, I think this has already happened, and I'm only basing that off of what Garcelle said on the show when she said they feel like there's an inner circle, and she named off the other four, but Sutton, Garcelle, and Crystal by themselves. Then I took that, and then I'm looking at the fact that they all did a article together.
Yeah, was it LA Times?
Yes.
Or New York Times. I think it's LA
It was
Times. The
LA
three of
Times.
them.
It was the three of them only.
Mm-hmm.
That's telling.
Yep.
Then you have to go and you have to look at the other factions. So remember at the beginning, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the reunion when Rena went to Erica's house and said, like, they're talking, and Erica's like, when you say these girls that flipped on you, notice she said girls. She didn't name specifics, which tells me that like Rena is throwing Kyle and Dorit under the bus.
Yep.
Because she said these girls. She didn't say Garcelle, because Garcelle never threw Erica under the bus. She didn't say Sutton, because Sutton's voiced her opinion. She said these girls. And this is after the season. That tells you a lot.
Wonder if she include Crystal in that.
Well, Crystal didn't say anything, and Crystal really hasn't been around long enough to really throw her and have turned against. Crystal really didn't have an opinion either way, outside of the victims, and she made that stance very clear. And then at the beginning of the reunion, where they're in the dressing rooms, remember, Andy brought up to Kyle that they were talking, and Kyle said there's stories out there saying like Erica's mad at me and that she's not speaking to me. Then Andy asked her, "Well, are you guys speaking?" And she's all, "No."
Nope.
So the crumbs are out there if you follow them.
But when she went on Watch What Happens Live, she said, I spoke to Erica right before I came on.
Right.
She lied. They lying. They lying. They lying. Yes, why was Rena laughing? Sorry, guys, just going through. No one is ever late, guys. Just come one, come all. All right. She was planning to say it blue soon. Okay, so where are we? Okay. So we got past the Garcelle thing. Did we talk about how Garcelle told Lisa, don't worry, we're going to get to you? And Lisa freaks out on her and says, don't tell me what to do, Garcelle. I can do whatever I want. La, la, la. I thought that was kind of messy as well. I find Lisa really like feels her nuts on this show. I don't know how else to say this.
She does. She gets real bold on the reunions.
Why couldn't I figure out the word bold? Okay, so wait. Garcelle says she still doesn't trust Lisa. I wouldn't either. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to do, especially after you saw how she is treating your friends and coworkers.
Exactly.
I don't know why they're so surprised that she doesn't trust Lisa.
I mean, yeah, they're like, well, you guys have been friends for so long. Yeah, that's great, but Lisa's done some crappy things to another 20+ year friend. So what are you talking about? I wouldn't trust her either.
And that hurts more the longer that you've been friends.
Yeah, and I do like the fact, maybe this was towards the end, but since we're talking about too much, bring it up now. I like the fact that Garcelle said, you know what? Maybe I just expected more from you,
Which is true.
which is true, which is fair.
I also think that Garcelle, her expectations of these women are based on like a decent human being.
Right.
And Lisa Rinna has proven herself to not be a decent human being.
Very self-serving, so I have to go along with that.
Let's see. Oh, and then Garcelle brings up that somebody told her that Lisa said that Garcelle should not have brought race to the show, that this wasn't the right platform for that. And Lisa go all the way off. And Garcelle say, why are you reacting this way?
Right. Why is this issue so hard?
Yeah.
And I was like the same way. I'm like, because if you didn't say it, you like, well, I never said. I would just be like, I never said that. And I left it there because when you overreact to situations like this, that just kind of tells me like, maybe there's some truth to it.
And she automatically want to know who said it. Garcelle was right. I'm not saying who said it.
But my thing is, you just by asking her who said it, you've acknowledged that something along those lines were said. If it wasn't her exact words, because she's all like, because normally, like if I didn't say something, I always tell people like, well, I didn't say that, so I'm not sure where that came from. Versus, I want to know who told you.
Who said that? Yeah, it was very interesting.
Right.
Her series of questions / rebuttals.
Yeah.
And the reaction was extra.
Oof. Yeah, you just shut it down.
I'm strong enough. Analyze. I never speak up when Garcelle.
And the timeline is important too. I am going to put that in there. Timeline and context are very important because my thing is this: when things like this happen, you have to look at timeline, context, and who told you, and what the relationship with that person who they said it is as well. Because I weigh that differently. Now, if someone came to Garcelle, who's a neutral party or friends with Lisa, and said it, that's one thing. But if it was someone who really doesn't like Lisa in the moment, is having issues with her, and they're relaying this information, I'm looking at it like, you're probably just giving me this information because you mad at so and so. Now I'm going to verify the information, of course, but I see what you're trying to do. So timeline, context, and source is very important.
I was thinking about this. I got the feeling it was Kyle who told Garcelle. And here's why. The race issue came up with Kyle first. Kyle will talk to Lisa. Lisa will tell Kyle because Kyle's and them in the clique. But Kyle don't want to touch that.
Right.
And once her and Garcelle got back onto a better footing, I think it slipped out.
Yep.
Or it might be a payback for the charity shit that Kyle pulled last year and said, look, you could say this, but just don't say my name.
Right. That's true. That's true. I can see all those scenarios. I can see all those scenarios because they're all plausible.
I'm sorry I'm eating, y'all. I am so hungry. I haven't had breakfast and I was running errands all morning, so I am sorry. I'm not professional. We all know that.
And we all know Kathy was trying to get Kyle away from Rinna in the beginning anyway. That was said pre-season. So that's another wrinkle.
What if it was Kathy who said it? I didn't think about that. Ooh.
Like maybe Rinna and Kyle have a conversation and then Kyle ran that back to Kathy.
Never know.
And Kathy ran it back to Garcelle.
Or Kathy could have mistook Garcelle for Kyle and just said it to her. I don't know. Okay.
Bobby wants to know, is this worth watching? A blobby. I'm gonna say
Not for a blobby.
for you, no. I don't think the mess happens until part two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so oh, and I agree with Garcelle when she told Lisa that she felt like she was trying to flip it back onto Garcelle being the person who was wrong when all of that came out. You know,
Hmm.
this is your issue. You were accused of this, not me.
Right.
Um, Apparently, Lisa is mad about what Garcelle said on Watch What Happens Live months ago when she was in that horrible new dress with the gathers, and she said, I would love to see Denise come back to the show, but of course, someone would have to go. And Andy asked her who, and she said, I'm not saying. And he said, are her
Hmm.
initials LR? And she was
Hmm.
like, it was all in joke. Well, it was funny to me.
Well,
He,
within every joke, there's some truth. So,
true,
but there's no
but she's
Garcelle's
blaming
lying.
Garcelle for that. And why aren't you blaming Andy? Because he took part in that. Y'all are such
And then
frauds.
here's my thing: is I agree with you. And here's another thing, Lisa, Babykins. Why do you think Andy threw out your name first?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need you to think about that. Why was your name the first one and the only one that came out of your initials?
You might be on the wrong list, girl.
So that tells you if they were to bring Denise back, then you would be gone.
Uh-huh.
Which and you're already on a precarious slope because you don't have a storyline. Now that Erica has a storyline, what are you gonna do?
And Lisa always bringing up Harry as if they married. And Harry wants to know what happened to Garcelle. She looks so unhappy. Who are you looking at? When was the last time you
Right,
got your eyes checked?
right,
While you are living up in a Canadian cabin in the middle of the snow, she is booked and busy. Leave
right.
Garcelle alone. Garcelle looks just fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because she's still modeling.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. I'm just saying, like, yeah, don't get it. But people always want to paint you. It's interesting the way they're trying to paint this. It's always if a person of color pushes back, you're aggressive or angry when you're
Mm-hmm.
amongst a group of predominantly Caucasian people. And that's not the
Mm-hmm.
case. It's like, well, no, we're just correcting you. And what the way it come across is that you're upset because a person of color is correcting you. Like, how dare you? I mean, the dare is
Yeah.
easy. If you have a backbone, the dare is easy.
CNS. Best Lisa can do. All
What's
right.
next on
So,
the docket?
um, I didn't get the quick flip from anger to questioning, are you okay? To, oh my God, we're friends, and sitting on her and hugging her. And that seemed kind of demented to me.
Because she knew how she was coming across. Lisa is acutely aware of her actions. She's reactionary, but she's acutely aware of her reaction and how it's going to be perceived. So she's very good at making corrections when necessary. And that's
But
what people
I
don't
thought
get.
this was an overcorrection because it was so obvious. And when you drive in a stick and you miss second gear.
Well, no, it was a perfect reaction because you have to realize you're on a platform of millions of people right now.
I didn't
And
like it at all.
Garcelle being classy understands the situation. She's like, this
Mm-hmm.
woman is AKA supposedly being sincere. She's going over the top. We have a 20-year friendship. I can't be cold to this woman in this.
Look what Steven said. This is how I took it.
Oh, she knows. Garcelle knows.
Because when
Like
she came on Watch What Happens Live, she
she
was like,
knows.
I still don't trust her.
Yeah,
Hello.
exactly. Garcelle's not dumb. But Garcelle is playing the moment for what it is. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't eviscerate this child right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Garcelle played it right.
To deflect. Oh,
Mhm.
interesting, Larja. Just so there's bad acting. Oh, and did you notice that Erica said when she was like throwing her legs up and everything, watch out, you're gonna kick Sutton in her face? Like it was just
Mhm.
extravagant for me. That's all. So then we have Kathy Hilton join the ladies on the couch, and she has her little purse and she has some notes, and they're all happy to see Mrs. Hilton join.
Mhm.
And she recognizes that the set is her backyard. Good on you. Um, Kyle, they asked Kyle a question about did she really break her nose or was it an excuse to get another nose job? Oh, child. And she agrees. She goes, I wasn't happy with the last one, but she really did break her nose on the set. And she was happy that it happened, which forced her to correct the last one. And they
Mhm.
promote the movie incessantly. Um, oh, and then they hit back to Erica. So what they doing, I guess, is getting a bit at the top and at the bottom with Erica to segue into each episode. You think that's it?
Right. They're not going to get into the meat.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first part is just a set up for parts 2 and 3.
Because Andy says that he thought it was weird that when she was on promoting her, not promoting her, but talking about the book that she wrote, and he asked her if Tom read it, and she said no. He actually said in that reunion, I think that's weird. And then when she did the Broadway show, and she said in that it was the reunion again, I think she
Mhm.
said he didn't come. He was waiting to come towards the end, but then C19 hit and it shut down the show. But what hurt her most was that she found out that later that he was in DC.
Right.
And that's a short train
That's
ride or a
a
plane
short trip.
ride.
That's a
Yeah.
short trip.
And that hurt her the most. I mean, you didn't know your husband was in DC?
Nope.
You couldn't even look up on, I was about to say look up on his phone, but he has that StarTAC flip phone.
That's
Never
why he
mind.
has. There's no tracking on that phone. There's no find my iPhone on that. There's no husband finder on that.
She also said that she told Tom that if he was in love with someone else, then divorce her and go and marry that person. And Andy asked her, what did he say? And she said nothing. Did he forget to say something? Like well,
This
that
is
was a
odd.
hard cut off and set up for episode 2.
Mhm.
Okay, so in my opinion, Erica should never be on the show again because why should she be earning a check when her husband stole all that money from the victims and she benefit from it, but shows no remorse? Um, she um she did mention something about that during this episode, didn't she?
She said like, why should I? Because because it's at the top where he asked like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel in court of public opinion? People saying you should be
Mm-hmm.
fired. She's like, why should I be fired? So there's no. She's like, I'm not being sued. There's nothing. There's no like. There's no filed charges against me. So why should I be fired?
But doesn't she have litigation against her?
But it's for something else. It's not for It's not for this in particular.
So the one from 2018 and then the ones from this year, they don't have nothing to do with this.
No, she has separate litigation. That's the thing. Her what she's saying is she's putting in the context of only Tom's situation, which technically she's right, but she does
Mhm.
have her own separate issue that she's being sued separately for that 20 million that was placed in her account.
But she benefited from his situation.
Correct, but what she's saying is although she may have benefited, she has no charges.
Yes.
She's playing literal.
Right. But one of these lawyers out here, Ronald
Richards.
Richards, right. Ronald said it could be a point where her wages are garnished to pay back.
Right.
So I hope she get that raise.
Oh, she got that raise. She's gonna be making $1 million next year.
Oh
Based on based
wow.
on the based on the reports that are out there. So I wonder, but
Mm.
see, here's the thing. I wonder how that's going to make the other ladies feel. That they've been on the show all this time, have built this show, and Erica's gonna get $1 million. So I don't think they're getting $1 million. Because you remember how they reacted when Denise got her $1 million. So Erica,
Mm-mm-mm.
with that raise, you may want to watch your back.
Especially Lisa. I'm
Yes.
sorry, she's the most dangerous one. Um, I don't know. The wife is responsible for the husband's debts. That's why she's getting a fake divorce. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that part. Oh no. Ah, it's just so all like convoluted and messy. Um, why get a raise for nothing? We still know nothing
Ratings.
about Erica.
Ratings.
Yeah, she
It's
gets the
pure
raise
ratings.
because ratings and commercial revenue, ad revenue.
Yeah.
So well, this should be interesting. I wonder what Kathy Hilton has on her notes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I want to know what she wants to address. So I'm with you on that.
I bet you anything is something to do with not coming to Garcelle's Haitian night dinner.
Mm.
Because what else does she have?
Like she observes everything, so I'm interested. I always want to know what she observed. That's what I'm curious about. Because if you notice, Kathy has her one-liners and she's fun, but she sees everything. So I'm interested to see. I want to know what she saw through her eyes and how she took in everything. So remember at the dinner, she was just like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing this."
I have a feeling that we're probably gonna go through the sob story about her and Kyle not talking for 10 years. Um, I don't think it'll be much.
No, but if it is something, I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say. Being from a completely outside, fairly
Mm-hmm.
neutral party, because she's even neutral when it comes to Kyle. So I want to hear what she has to say.
Unless she's super pissed at what happened at her Baccarat dinner party.
Yeah, that was a whole mess.
I wonder if Patrick resigned because of it.
I love to see Patrick on the couch
Oh, that would
next to
be
Kathy.
cute. Yeah. I want to support Garcelle, but not the franchise torn. Oh.
I mean, if they get rid of a couple people and make, I'm gonna throw Kathy in there. Kathy, Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal like the core of the show, and bring their friends in. I think it would be a fun show.
Oh, wait. Rena posted a throwback picture of herself and Garcelle today for damage control. Nope, won't help. Got to love it. Calculating,
Of course,
calculating.
always. That's what I'm saying. Rena is acutely aware of her actions, even though she's very reactionary. That's what it is. She knows what she like. When she reacts, she's like, "Oops, I shouldn't have done that. I need to fix this."
Mm-hmm. Okay, just going through. Rena is stupid. I I think Rinna has burnt a lot of bridges in Hollywood. I really,
Oh
really,
yeah,
really do. But it is what it is. It was a good starter. I'm glad
yeah.
that they didn't throw like the best bits into this first segment.
They can't
Um,
do that. It's four parts. There's no way they can do that.
yeah, but the last there've been a couple of three-parters where one was okay, and then two and three were a waste of time, and we were wondering why are we here.
Right.
So let's hope that the editors will do it right and keep us entertained throughout for the next three parts. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining us. We have to break off now because Jamal has an appointment. But join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Pacific. We're going to talk about all things Whitney and my big fat fabulous life. Okay. Thank you for joining us today. You guys in the chat have been amazing. And shout out to everybody in the replay crew. We love y'all. Leave your comments below on what you think about this first part of the 4-part reunion and your predictions for what's going to happen moving forward. And are you here for season 12? If Erica
I
gets her
am.
raise?
Let's see. I'm only here for season 12 because I want to see who comes back and how it plays out. Because I want to. Cause one of the main reasons is because like Erica gets that million, which is out there. I want to see how the ladies react. Specifically, Rena, Kyle, and Dorit.
Is Kyle making $1 million yet?
Half
No.
mil. Half mil.
Shut up.
From what I can find, it's $500,000 for Kyle, $500,000 for Rena.
So wait, Erica got more than them this season?
Yes, which is why they had an issue with Denise getting $1 million when she came on the show.
So obviously they didn't know that she was getting 100G more than them this season, or else that would have been an issue too.
I don't think $100,000 in the grand scheme of things is going to
Rena.
affect. For
Rena.
Gotcha.
We're talking about Rena. A cent more is an issue. That's why she has an issue with Garcelle, because Garcelle is getting jobs and she's not. Like, Depends don't even want her back.
And I think also with Rena, she's mad because Garcelle. We don't know how much Garcelle's getting paid, but we know Garcelle's getting paid, and I think she's upset because Garcelle is getting paid what she's getting paid, but not filming as much as they film. But Baby's booked and busy, and they knew Garcelle was booked and busy before she got on the show, so deal with it.
And that's part, like, she has, like, this is what I like in a housewife, seeing what they're doing outside of just having lunch.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Okay, guys. Jamal, any final thoughts on this?
No, I'm looking forward to part 2 because that's what I think is going to ramp up.
Okay. So until next time.
Of course.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.